How the specter of communism is ruling our world. The specter of communism did not disappear with the disintegration of the Communist Party in Eastern Europe. By editorial team of the 9 commentaries on the Communist Party. Preface. Though the communist regimes of Eastern Europe have disintegrated, the evil specter of communism hasn't disappeared. On the contrary, this evil specter is already ruling our world, and humanity must not harbor a mistaken sense of optimism. Communism is neither a trend of thought, nor a doctrine, nor a failed attempt at a new way of ordering human affairs. Instead, it should be understood as a devil, an evil specter forged by hate, degeneracy, and other elemental forces in the universe. It took the form of a serpent, then that of a red dragon, and it keeps company with Satan, who hates God. It exploits low-level beings and demons to wreak havoc on man. The goal of the specter is to ruin humanity, and while the divine offers salvation to humankind. Communism tells man not to believe, attacks human morality so as to renounce tradition, and causes men not to heed God's instruction and, ultimately, to be destroyed. The communist evil specter, with its countless mutations, is full of guile. Sometimes it uses slaughter and violence to menace those who refuse to follow it, other times, it makes recourse to the language of science and progress, offering a wonderful blueprint of the future meant to deceive followers. Sometimes it presents itself as a profound field of learning and makes people believe that it's the future direction of mankind. Other times, it uses the slogans of democracy, equality, and social justice to infiltrate the fields of education, media, art, and law, bringing people under its banner without them even knowing it. Yet, at other times, it calls itself socialism, progressivism, liberalism, neo-Marxism, and other leftist terms. Sometimes it holds up seemingly righteous banners such as pacifism, environmentalism, globalism, and political correctness. Other times, it supports vanguard art, sexual liberation, drug legalization, homosexuality, and other indulgences in human desires, giving the mistaken impression that it's part of a popular trend. Extremism and violence aren't its only expressions. Sometimes it pretends to care for the welfare of society. Yet its root purpose is to destroy, by whatever means, everything traditional, whether it be faith, religion, morality, culture, the institution of the family, art, pedagogy, law, whatever it takes to have man fall into a moral abyss and be damned. Communism and its various mutations are now found around the world. While China and Cuba publicly proclaim themselves to be led by communist regimes, even America, the leader of the free world, has fallen prey to attacks by the evil specter, not to mention Europe, which embraces socialism, and Africa and Latin America, which are enveloped in communist influence. This is the startling reality humankind now faces, that the evil specter's conspiracy to destroy humankind has almost succeeded. Humans instinctively desire to benefit themselves and flee from danger. Instinct urges them to escape from suffering, to make a name for themselves, to establish prosperous enterprises, or merely to enjoy life. It is human to have these thoughts. However, if humans distance themselves from God's, these thoughts can be latched onto and intensified by the evil specter, resulting in a person being controlled by it. The hubris of the specter's revolt against God also makes those it controls experience a sense of hubris. They then try to play God themselves through the exercise of power, capital, and knowledge, trying to rule the fates of millions and influence the course of history through social movements. Humans are created by gods and have both good and evil in their nature. If people abandon evil and promote compassion, they can return to God. What awaits on the opposite side is the devil. The choice resides solely with the individual. We have been sorry to find that many fundamentally kind-hearted people have unknowingly become agents or targets of manipulation of the communist specter, what Vladimir Lenin called useful idiots. Though society as a whole has ended up on the verge of destruction because of inducements and temptation from the specter. There are, in fact, very few people who have willingly pledged their souls to the devil and chosen to deliberately corrupt mankind. For most, the kindness innate to human nature remains, giving them an opportunity to rid themselves of the specter's influence. This is the purpose of this book, to set out this complex and tangled issue in plain language, as truthfully as possible. Then people will be able to see the tricks of the communist specter. More importantly, this book seeks to present the moral, cultural, and artistic traditions that God's laid down for mankind. Individuals may then choose between God and the evil specter for themselves. When a person's kind thoughts emerge, God's will help free him from the devil's control. But the process of seeing the devil for what it is requires that one think deeply and discern clearly. This book seeks to re-examine the tides of history over the last several centuries and, from a high level and with a broad perspective, assess the multifarious masks and forms the devil has adopted in order to occupy and manipulate our world. The goal of this exercise is not to simply recount history, but to understand how we can stop the devil from ever ruling the world again. This relies on the individual's own enlightenment, proactive abandonment of evil, and return to the traditions and way of life that God's laid down for man. God will triumph over the devil. Which side we stand on will determine our eternal destiny.